Hello fellow humans. So it looks like Reality silently dropped another firmware update for the CR-6 SE. So I'm gonna quickly, for the first time actually, install it and see what happens, or if I brick my printer. I have a backup of the firmware for the previous one, so it's not a big deal. So I have the SD card already with the bin file installed. I don't know if you have to update the LCD screen yet, firmware, but I'll take a look after I'm done with this. But I wanted to get this video out so that everyone can see what happens, if anything, before you do it yourself. So here goes. I'm going to turn it on. Let me go ahead and zoom into the screen. We can see what happens as I update it. There you go. And absolutely nothing. So either it's not meant for this printer or something else happened. So give me a second, let me check. All right, take two. Okay, it's taking a little bit longer to load. I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Okay, that's good. Good status bar. Okay, it beeped. Looks like I'm currently in Chinese. Awesome. Alright, so let's see if I can figure this out. I think it's this one. And then this one. Oh, it says 2.0.1.2, so that's good. This one. Nope. This is fun. That's print. PLA off. Nope. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Okay. I know that's cool down. Preheat ABS. Preheat PLA. What is this? Forget what.
20 minutes later.
Maybe this is only meant for Chinese. That's print menu. I swear it's in this right here. Alright. I'll figure it out. Alright, so I'm going to try to flash the display or LCD firmware that came with the new version 2. See if that makes a difference, because I can't figure it out. But maybe I just didn't load the English version of the LCD yet. So let me go ahead and flash the LCD firmware real quick, and then we shall see if I can change the language back to English in the new firmware. If not, I'll just learn Chinese. If anything, I'll just have to revert back to 1.0.3.6, which is the previous version. So if you remember, we got to take the LCD completely off, and then we remove the back cover. Of course, it's a different size. And then we have to use a different SD card for the actual LCD. And then we turn it on, it flashes, and then we turn it back off with our fingers crossed. Okay, so unscrew all 4 of these screws. And I did this once before on a previous video, but this is a video specifically for flashing the firmware. Okay, so let's take that off. It's always one. Okay, so you can see down here is the SD card holder. So I take my SD card, find an easy way to put it in. Just don't have the hand size for this. Okay, there we go. So this is actually a clicky one. So, and then what we need to do is put the cover temporarily back on. And we plug in the LCD. Okay. Temporarily lay it on the top, and then we turn on the printer and cross our fingers. Okay, so the firmware flashing begins. I recently changed the power supply fan, but I think that's the hot end cooling fan that's so loud. I'm gonna have to figure out if that can be swapped. So this takes a minute or two. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 5, 6 files so far. Again, this takes a couple minutes. Okay. 25 files were quote-unquote downloaded from the SD card. Eventually, I like to decipher what all of these mean. That's the hope. The hope that I can get my English dialogues back. So far, so good though. Everything's flashing okay. Oh, you know what? I'm an idiot. I was waiting for something to happen, but when it says end, that means it's done. So let me go ahead and reverse the power process here. So we power it off, and then we unplug it. Okay, and then we take out the SD card because we don't have to have it flash every single time we turn the printer on. You'll notice that my screen moves around. That's because I removed the tape and replaced it with a printed bezel on the front because I didn't like the tape. It was just too shiny, got too dirty. So what I did was I 3D printed a bezel and double-sided sticky taped it on. So you can see there's a little bit of a gap there, and then works a lot better for me. So I removed the SD card. Let me go ahead and put the cover back on. Make sure it lines up. I got into this habit of looking at the camera when I'm working instead of actually just looking at what I'm trying to do, and so my depth perception is way off. So if it looks like I don't know what I'm doing, that's why. Or I just don't know what I'm doing. Could be either one. But if I look at the actual screw, it works a lot easier. And again, just a teaser, I did change out the power supply fan. I'm getting 2 fans. One has already been installed, and I'm kind of testing it, and then another one's going to be installed to see if it makes any difference. Much to my wife's dismay of ordering multiple parts for no reason. It's all about the views. Just kidding. Also, I want to say thank you for the subscribers. I'm almost at 100, which I never thought I would reach. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it, all of you that like my content. So let's plug this back in. We have all of our SD cards removed from the printer and the LCD. Come on, get in there, you. There we go. So let's screw this back in. Just gonna be hand tight for now. Don't really have to torque it down too much, because I'm sure I'll be taking this apart a lot. Okay, so that's done. Let's go ahead and fire it back up and see what happens. Cross your fingers that I can change the language. Yay, English, it automatically put it back. So let's check setup and then about. We got 2.0.1.2 for the firmware version, which is good. It automatically went back to English after I flashed the LCD. It appears as though when I was pressing this button that was written in Chinese, I was restoring the factory settings, so I'm sure that won't hurt anything. The only thing I changed was the Z-offset, which of course isn't too hard. I had it at 0.25. Everything appears to be working. No SD card in. Got all the move functions. Filament use up. Oh, that's because it's empty. I wish they'd change that. I could probably go in and change that myself if I knew how to do it. Let's see, motor release. I think that's changed. That looks like different wording than it was before. Preheat, PLA, ABS, one-click cooling. That's changed. I knew that used to say cool down. And then we go to leveling, automatic leveling. Everything looks good here. And then setup, we have temperature, nozzle temp, hotted. I think they changed a lot of the wording. Ah, there's the language button. That was not there before, at least it didn't work. And that looks like it's it. Somehow I got the hot end heating up. One-click cooling. You can see that I went back to 0, which is good. Let me do a quick level for you guys if you really want to. Wait for the temperature to heat up to 0 degrees Celsius and start leveling. So I wonder if they got rid of the 120 degrees leveling temperature for some reason. Not quite sure why. Maybe someone got hurt or someone didn't pay attention and okay. Oh, that's interesting. It's like a screensaver. So it's still going down here. That was really weird. I wonder if that's a screensaver setting or feature. I've never had the screen blank out before. But a good thing is it came back as soon as I tapped it, so that's nice. See if I can make this a little more straight. See, it went off again. And again, I'm wondering if that's a screensaver. As soon as I tap it, it goes back. Come on, nozzle, cool down faster. I don't mind a screensaver function. I just would like to see a setting to change it because you know, if I'm actively using it, then I don't want it to go off every 10, 15 seconds, whatever it is. I'm gonna have to 1,000, 1,000. Count. I'm gonna have to count it. So ready? 1, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. Actually, no. I could just use a watch. That would definitely annoy you. I just found out when you receive a phone call, it stops recording on your iPhone. So there might be a brief point where the video doesn't make sense. So it looks to be about a minute, 30 seconds to a minute. I to be honest, I didn't keep track. It's still, I don't know if it's supposed to be doing anything other than, because it's never going to reach 0. I can tell you that right now. So let's see if, see, okay. For some reason it reset. Yay, bugs. Seems to be okay now though. I wonder if that had to do with the screen blanking out. Maybe it didn't know what it was supposed to be doing. So now it's heating back up to 120 degrees like it was prior to this upgrade firmware. And then we'll see what happens. Should work just fine from this point. Oh, there's the screen goes out again. Tap it, screen comes back on, everything's fine. So it looks like we have a screensaver function, folks. Maybe there was some burn-in issues that people realized. But either way, it does kind of stink in a way. I don't know. I just don't like it. Personal preference. Of course, the good thing is that it doesn't stop doing whatever it's doing, so can't complain about that. Again, a huge thank you to the people that have subscribed. I do really appreciate it. It does mean a lot to me because I didn't think I would get any subscribers, let alone almost 100. So the upcoming videos, I'm going to have a side-by-side printing comparison. Unfortunately, I don't have any time-lapse video, but I do have a side-by-side print with the Ender 3 Pro and the CR-6 SE. I also, like I said, changed out the fan. I will be putting that video together, and then we will see if that really makes a big difference. From what I can tell, it doesn't, at least as far as the PSU cooling fan is concerned. I really do believe it's the hot end cooling fan that needs to be changed out with a quieter one, but I'm not willing to make any changes to the print head just yet. Okay, so that's done. So I'm going to go back, and I always do a Z level. And then what I do after that is I get a piece of paper. And this isn't really something that you have to do, but so currently I have the Z-offset to 0.25. So what I do is I put it up to 0.5, and the paper should fit underneath. Okay, you can hear it scraping a little bit, and then I go down until it just grabs. So at this point, it's actually at 0.45. So that seems a little high to me, but as we all know, a thickness of a paper is supposed to be how far the nozzle is away from the bed. So there also is some dry filament at the end, which may be it. Hey, Patches. My cat Patches. So I'm actually gonna leave it at 0.25, and then I'll adjust it accordingly. Hopefully it doesn't change too much. This is also a thicker piece of paper, so. Okay, so that is the firmware update. Remember that you have to update the LCD firmware as well. So you put in the card with the bin file of the firmware upgrade for the printer, you flash that, and then it looks as though you need to update the LCD firmware, which is included as well. I have the video for that, but I'll also put in the description of this video the links that I used. And if you like the screensaver option, go ahead and leave a comment. If you don't like it, also leave a comment. Personally, I don't like it because I like to have my screen on and kind of watch it, but that's just me. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.